Hey, everybody, this is Jennifer.
And this is Karyl. We're just two best friends sharing our personal stories.
And we hope to make you laugh and smile. Welcome back.
Yay! This will be our fourth episode we're recording. We don't have all the other
Nice.
ones out yet, and this one
Fourth
is all
episode that
about
we're recording, and
Jennifer.
this is our third one together, though, right?
Right.
Yeah, because you did one with,
Did with
yeah,
my
this is
brother
great.
just to play around. I was bored. I was like,
Yeah,
"Are you available? Jump on.
that's what's up.
Let's
That's how
do
we need
it.
to do
Let's
this.
do it."
That's how we need to work this channel. But hey, everybody, got my mic up. Thank you for the feedback.
Woo!
My mic's all the way up. I turned it all the way up, so we're good. So we're ready to rock and roll.
Awesome. And this episode's about Jennifer's weight loss journey. So it's her turn to get asked the questions.
I'm in the hot seat.
So, Jennifer, tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you grew up and where you live now.
Okay. So I am a Cali girl. I was born and raised in California. I was born in San Jose, but then grew up down in San Diego. And yeah, I stayed in California until about 22 winters ago. And I moved to Michigan 22 winters ago. Yes, I count it by winters. I've
You
survived
must
22
miss it.
winters. I'm a Cali girl for life. I hate being cold. Yeah, I've
Me
been in
too.
Michigan, for a
Oh,
long time.
and
And
you guys get a lot of snow, so more than us.
yeah, we do. Our road commission is amazing. Kent County Road Commission. We're just giving you a shout out because you guys are thebomb.com. You guys are awesome. And I've been in Michigan and I'm here most of the time. I've been able to kind of travel around the last couple of years because of my job allowing me the flexibility to work from home, as a lot of people got to do that, with COVID. But yeah, so I'm mostly here in Michigan now, and I have a son. He is 20 years old, so I'm kind of like a newer empty nester, having to navigate and refocus on myself and have time for myself again. So having to deal with that aspect of life change. Yeah, and I am, single, and yeah,
Single, ready to
that's
mingle.
about it. Single, ready to mingle. Yeah.
And what are some of your interests? Like, what do you do for fun and keep yourself, entertained?
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out again, for this portion of my life, because I've always had to focus so much on everyone else, like my son or my dad who has Alzheimer's, or someone else's event that's coming up that I have to focus on. So I haven't really spent a lot of time kind of figuring out what I like to do anymore. I've always loved to roller skate, so I've always loved doing that. I just, right now, for me, peace and freedom, those are like the most important things to me. So anything that involves those two things is what's fun to me now at this stage in my life. Is anything
Yeah.
that brings me peace and freedom. If it disrupts my peace
Mm-hmm.
or makes it so I feel smothered, I run clear. I steer clear from it.
Yes. Yes, that's smart.
So
I'm the same way. Mm-mm.
yeah, I just don't
I
have
don't.
time. I just don't have the capacity to deal with foolishness
Mm-hmm.
or just things that don't bring me joy. And I
Right.
choose to be around people that celebrate me and not just tolerate me. Um,
Right. Yes.
so that's really important to me. So, and that's
Yeah.
just that's where I'm sitting right now.
And I think it's the best part too. I don't mean to interrupt, but as we get older, we start realizing like, I don't want the drama in my life. I want peace and contentment. And you start making your bubble smaller with good, positive people who also want to lift you, not only lift them up, but they need to lift you up. So,
Right.
and it's like in our younger days, I don't know about you, but I wasn't, I don't know, didn't really think about that exactly. I was just always in the moment and I had negative people around me. But but now it's like, I just want to be
Yeah.
drama free.
You hit the nail on the head. They have to lift
Mm-hmm.
you up too, instead of
Yep.
you just getting all of your stuff getting sucked out of you and no one's filling you back up. Like, you
Right.
have to be with people that help you balance yourself. And
Ex-
yeah, that just will be honest with you and real with you.
I
Tell you
agree.
the truth, because we have too many people that are just telling you what you want to hear. You need the kind of
Hmm.
people in your corner that'll tell you the truth. And
Right.
those are the types of people that I keep in my corner now.
That's great. That's
That's what makes
great.
it fun for me is I get to choose who I'm around. I'm more selective with that, and I have peace and freedom and happiness. So that's fun for me.
Amen. So, when did your um, weight become an issue? Like, when did you notice, like, I need to do something about what's going on with me?
So I did not have a weight problem my whole entire childhood. And then up until I was I would say about 17, I got a boyfriend. And once I got myself a boyfriend, we started, I started being lazy. We would be at the
Yeah.
house a lot. We would go out to eat a lot. I started getting more sedentary. So it was about 17 or 18 years old when I started to put on the pounds. And then it
Yeah.
just went crazy from there. That's
Oh
when
my
when I
goodness.
gained, when I started gaining, and then it was a big problem. I remember I was roller skating one time. See, I've roller skated my whole life. I went roller skating. We used to go as teenagers on Wednesday nights, which was a school night. But Mom would let us go. I'd go with my other best friend Becky, and I remember I was skating one night, and I had gained a little bit of weight, and somebody actually came up to me and said, "Are you pregnant?" They asked me if I was pregnant, and I was
No.
so mortified, and I wasn't even that heavy then. I mean, I swear I was
Oh
not that heavy, but
no.
I think my stomach must have been stick pooching out or something, but that mortified me, and that was one of the things where I just it's,
Oh,
like, ingrained in my head that that happened to me, and I've never
yeah.
gotten over it.
Yeah, stuck there. Stuck there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
So,
the worst.
how did you approach the beginning of your journey? Like, your eating, your exercise, just your mindset? What made you be determined that you're going to make it work this time?
Um, my whole reason for wanting to lose weight and be healthy was so I can be around to see my great-great-grandchildren. It wasn't about anything like, "I wanna be the skinniest thing on the planet. I wanna wear a bikini again. I wanna" it wasn't all of those things. It was just more about being around for my family.
Yeah,
Um, that's what made me, and then I was just so tired of being heavy. I was at my highest weight, I was 353 pounds,
it's just hard to
which
believe.
is huge. Yeah, I was really big, and I remember I begged God to please help me. I begged him. I remember being in bed. I remember how it feels to be that large, and I remember how hopeless it feels, and I got to this place where I was just so hopeless, and I begged God to help me, and I just started doing research and figuring out what I could do to use the tools that were available in today's society to help me to lose the weight. And so I started that's where my journey started. However, I do have to give a shout out to Weight Watchers, because
Hmm.
prior to me getting pregnant with my son Cameron 20 years ago, I actually was the most successful. It was the most success I ever had with weight loss up until that time was Weight Watchers. I got on there and I lost 40 pounds. 40
Wow.
pounds. And that was huge
Wow.
for me. I'd never lost that much weight. Weight
Wow.
Watchers is amazing.
Yep.
And
I got,
so I
yep.
lost 40 pounds and then I got pregnant. And
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys
Weight
know this, but
Watchers
they
a
kick you
lot.
out when you get pregnant. Yeah, they'll kick you out. When you tell them that you're pregnant, congratulations. Okay, this is your last meeting. So,
Goodbye.
yeah.
Yeah,
Till
that
you
is
have the
such a
baby,
good
then you can come back.
program. Yeah, that is a good program.
Yeah.
I had so much success with it. They just retrain your mind on how to like eat your portions and everything. But so yeah, they're great. They're great.
I love them because it's like real life. Like, they teach you how to eat
Yeah.
real food, and you do it with
Right.
real
You
food.
don't
You
have to
don't
buy
just
like
do these
this
packaged
special
meals.
foods. Yeah.
Right, and so it's something
Yes.
that's sustainable and that's sustainable. It's a lifestyle change, and that's the key, I think, with all
Yeah.
this is making stuff that you can do on your own
Right. Yeah. I
without
always
them.
did like that. I didn't have to buy their food that I would
Yeah.
not probably like anyway. So I'm
Right.
particular. So did you have supporters? A lot of support?
Um, yeah, I had people that were cheering me on in the corner, wanting me to do well, wanting and concerned for my health and wanting me to lose weight. Um, so yeah, I did have supporters, but like as far as like doing the work and doing the things that I needed to do in order to be successful with the weight loss, that was all like having to build that self-discipline.
Yeah.
My faith played a big role in it.
Oh,
And
wow.
then, like I said, I used the tools that were available to me in
Mhm.
order to help me start to lose weight. And one of the tools that I used was I had bariatric surgery in 2009. And a lot of people might say, "Oh, well, she just had the surgery. That's how she lost the weight." Well, guess what? That's what helped me to start losing weight, but that is by no means a way to keep it off because I had
That's
several friends
right.
that had the same surgery as me. And guess what?
I know people
They gained
too.
weight back.
Oh, yeah,
And they gain
and then
more than what
some.
they had
Yeah,
in the beginning.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So weight loss surgery is a tool. And if you use the tool and you follow what the doctors say, it can be successful
Exactly.
and you can sustain it.
It's a
But so
true
yeah, that's what helped me.
yeah, it's a true lifestyle change you have got to make. It can't be just like,
Yeah.
bariatric surgery or was it Ozempic or whatever you take right now? Like, that's great to lose the weight, but what are you gonna do after you stop? You have to
Right.
make that lifestyle change to exercising and changing your diet, you know?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And like, I don't know, what else did I the exercise piece, I think we need to really touch on because that's been huge. So like the last 15 years, I had bariatric surgery in 2009, um, on Veterans Day, 11/11. I'll never forget it. And the doctors all said you need to exercise. So I started walking and then I started running. And like you had
yeah.
mentioned in our previous episode, that running helped you drop weight, and running definitely helped me drop weight. I trained for like my first 5K and did that. I think I was 260 pounds when I ran my first 5K. So I was still really heavy or heavier, but was able to train and do it. So yeah, the exercise piece, it's been huge for me. And over these past several years, I literally work out between 3 and 6 times a week.
Yeah,
Really, like,
okay.
just the exercise piece is really important. And for me, I think this doing things, changing things that are sustainable,
Right.
not just doing these quick fixes where I need to lose 20 pounds and then lose the 20 pounds in like 2 months and then end up gaining it all back.
Oh,
It's all about slow and
been
go for
there.
me. Like,
I've been there
like,
several times before I finally just did it.
yeah.
Yo-yo
So the
dieting.
things that are sustainable, and for me, I think too, for everyone, I mean, everyone knows. I knew when I was 353 pounds, I knew how to lose weight. I
Yeah,
knew what I needed to do, but it's about being self-disciplined and doing it and
right.
consistently doing it, not just doing it for 3 months or January 1st through January 31st as your Year's resolution,
Yeah,
but actually really holding yourself accountable and having people in your corner, supporters that will help hold you accountable too and cheer you on and help you
exactly.
when you stumble. Because this is like, I thought, like, oh, once I get skinny or whatever I thought skinny was, once I get skinny, then I'll be so happy and everything will be
Yeah.
great. Well, guess what? Nope, that's not the case. So now that you lost the weight, here's what happens when you lose all the weight. Then you're paranoid about gaining it back and
Mhm.
you have to do a lot to keep it off. So it still is a lifelong struggle. I call it a struggle because it is. It's a struggle. It's a lifelong struggle to keep
Yep.
on top of your weight and to maintain it and to keep it off. It's really hard.
Yeah, I think you and I've had that conversation multiple times. Like, I wish I could just eat a hamburger or have a little snack of chips or even drink like an espresso and not be worrying about how many calories is in it or have those nightmares where you're like, oh, I gained all my weight back. It really does
Mhm.
something to you. You put all that work into it, all that hard work. And that's there always that fear there that you're going to gain it back. Cause I don't want to ever feel that way again. I was so unhealthy.
Yeah.
I don't want to slip. I don't want to fall off the wagon. So my scale holds me accountable. I do wish that I
That's
could have that peace of mind, like have a piece of wedding cake or something and enjoy it for the moment,
and
but I can't. The entire time I'm like, okay, I can
Yeah.
just work it off tomorrow. I think it's
Yeah.
just part of it. I hate that.
Yeah, so that's life. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a constant struggle for the rest of your life. That's why the things that I do to change what I was, I'm able to sustain it. And I consider it successful since 2009. I've kept most of my weight off, except over the past couple years I did have a minor snafu where I
Well,
gained
yeah,
like
you just
30 pounds. I
yeah, we're
gained
only
30
human.
pounds.
We're
And I
only
just lost it all
human.
back. I'd lost 40 over the
I
past
know you
year.
look
Having to start
amazing.
over though. Having to start
Yeah,
over. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
I feel great. Now I remember how
You
it
look
feels to
great.
feel good again. Thank you. And like how it feels to like want to exercise again because when I was heavy, even when I had, the 40 pounds that I weighed heavier last year, I remember just being like, I just don't want to do it. Like, I'm not looking forward to this. Like, I had to force myself to do it. And I remember how that feels. And like, now that I'm here, I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to
Right,
ever not feel like working out again. Like, so it encourages me every day to get up and go do my walk, get my
right,
10,000 steps in every day because I don't want to
right,
feel like lazy again.
right. And you also like have that group workout that you do, to help motivate others, not just yourself. And I think that probably played a big part of your weight loss, this past year.
The 40 pounds that I just lost was
Yes.
definitely we call it walking with the besties. Walking with the besties. It's like a group chat that we have on our phones, and we go live on YouTube now too, just
There you
recently.
go,
But we
YouTube.
work
Where
out
can they
every
find you on
day.
YouTube? Where they find you on
Oh,
YouTube?
oh, oh, can we put it in the description somewhere? But anyways,
Yeah,
it's
we can do that. Yeah, I'll add it.
Jennifer
I'll add
Smith,
it.
and it's at Gen2D First Power One. That's my handle. But we'll put it in the
Okay.
description or put it somewhere so you
Yeah,
guys can get to it.
absolutely.
But
Yes.
yeah, we work out every Monday through Friday at 4:30 Eastern time. We get on FaceTime. How we started it was just me and my mom. We got on FaceTime and we worked out and walked to a video indoors like for 15, 20 minutes. And then we started adding people. My aunt joined, Becky joined, one of my other best friends, Christy joined, and one of my other friends that I've had since junior high, both of them. And then other people joined, and some people have joined and then jumped back off, but for the most part, like about four of us are consistent. And yeah, we do that every day. So that helps hold us accountable because then when I don't feel like doing it, I know that there's three other people waiting on the phone on FaceTime for
Yeah,
me to do it. So it kind of makes me,
right.
it helps me it motivates me to work out when I don't feel like it.
I think that's been
So
a great
yeah.
great thing to do. Absolutely. So, what was your first milestone physically that you noticed?
One of the ones that is ingrained in my head, like when I was larger, I always was worried about fitting. Like when I go to the restaurants, I was like, am I going to fit in the booth? And do they have any tables? And when I go to the store, can I make it to aisle 20 in these shoes that I'm wearing? Like those little things. So the biggest thing that I was mortified about was needing a seatbelt extender on an airplane. And so when I got on an airplane and I was able to buckle the seatbelt and actually be able to pull, not buckle it like with all of it loose, like as big as it'll go, but buckle it and actually be able to pull it tight
Yeah.
around my waist. That was one of my proudest moments. I just like sat there. I looked left, looked right. I was like, God giddy. Jeez.
Yay
I
me.
was so excited. I'm like, I can fit the seatbelt. No one understands how exciting this is to me. But that is like one of my biggest milestones. That and I can cross my when I was able to like cross my legs. Like,
I know.
ooh, watch out
I know.
now.
I know. Who would have thought that'd be such a big deal, but it is.
Those little things.
I
Yeah,
love it.
that seatbelt on the airplane, man. That was huge for me.
So basically, those milestones is what kept you in it mentally. So it went hand in
Yeah, and then
hand
I
because
had
I
to
was getting
stop
ready to ask.
comparing myself. I had to stop
Yeah.
comparing myself to other
Oh,
people because I
yeah.
was comparing myself to other bariatric patients that
Oh,
they were losing like 100 pounds like in a hot minute. And here I am, like, I'm only 60 down. And it's been like 7, 8 months. I don't know. It had been a while. And I thought I should be 100 down by now. And so I had to stop looking at what everybody else was
hmm
doing and just focusing on myself, focusing on what I could do, making sure I made the right choices and was consistent with what the doctors were telling me to do. Um, and once I stopped looking at what everybody else was doing, I continued to lose my weight. And now I've
Okay.
kept it off for the most part, so
And you probably did it the right way anyway, a little bit slower, you know?
slow. Yeah. My weight
So,
loss is always slow. It's never been a quick loss for me. It's always like 1 to 2 pounds a week, you know, pretty much.
I know I'm that way now. In the beginning, I lost it quickly, but then not so much
And then when you
anymore,
get
so
older, it's just harder to like now that I've gotten older, it's harder for me to lose weight. Like this 40 that I just lost, it's like the old way wasn't working anymore. And I
right.
was kind of freaking out about
Oh,
it.
I
The old way
know,
wasn't working
yeah.
anymore. And I'm like, well, what I did before isn't working. So now what do I do? And it just was very, very frustrating.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was very frustrating. But
So, losing the weight, did it give you confidence to pursue new things in your life?
losing the weight,
Yeah, just anything like
absolutely. It did. Like, always wanted to become a flight attendant. Losing the weight, I had an opportunity to become a flight attendant and I did it. I did it with you.
That's right.
And yeah, I would have never done that. Obviously, I wouldn't have been able to fit into the jump seat and I wouldn't have qualified. So yeah, losing the weight made me think of other opportunities that I had closed the door on, dreams that I had that I'd
Right.
closed the door on. It also gave me confidence to pursue my dream of being an actress. So I am pursuing that. I have an agent in Chicago. I auditioned for things. I've been on a few things.
Yeah, you've been
I've
on a
been on a
few
lot of TV
things.
shows like that tape in Chicago as like background and things. So yeah, so it gave me that confidence to try to pursue my dreams, my lifelong dreams that I've had.
Oh, that is so great. That's so great. I remember when I lost weight, just being able just to go walking, hiking. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can go do things I couldn't do before, you know.
And not be so tired. I remember coming home
Right.
after work because before when I'd come home after work, I'd be so exhausted. But after I lost weight, I was able to come home after work and actually have energy for Cameron, my son, and have energy to
Right.
play with him
Yes.
and to do things with him and not just be so
Yes.
exhausted sitting on the couch doing nothing, saying, oh, go get that from mommy. Bring
Right.
it to mommy. I'll play with you over here. Well, no, I was able to actually get up and go outside with him and hang out. And yeah. And I just didn't
Now
want him to ever be embarrassed of having like an overweight mom at school.
right.
So that was one of my big things too. I'm like, "Oh gosh," because when he was little in kindergarten stuff, I don't think he really
They don't
got it. He didn't really
notice, yeah.
understand. But I'm like, I really wanted to lose weight so that so I wouldn't embarrass him. You know,
Right. Right.
that was one
Yeah,
of the other
luckily
things
my
I
kids
didn't
were
want to
still
embarrass my
young
son.
too, because I was afraid of the same thing. I remember after I lost the weight, I remember one of my kids, I can't remember if it was Penny or Andrew, they were like, "Yeah, you look like a chipmunk, with big cheeks, when you had," but they didn't really realize I was big until after I lost the weight, and then they saw pictures. They're like, "Oh, you look like a chipmunk." I'm like, "Oh." So I'm glad I lost it before they were really aware of some things.
Yeah.
So you did
Yeah,
ask me
that was
this
helpful.
question, and to me, it was kind of a big one. But did people treat you differently after you lost a weight? Like, and like, how different? Like, what? How was it different?
Um, yes. The quick answer to that is yes. And I noticed a lot more attention from men.
Hmm.
Um, someone that I mean, my experience used to be when I'd go into a store where where someone was going in front of me. They'd let the door slam in my face and I'd have to just, open the door myself. But so when I lost weight, I noticed all of a sudden people were holding the door like several seconds longer than what was necessary. I mean, I was way out in the parking lot. They still standing there holding the door. So doing like those little things. And then instead of just saying like one word sentences or answers to me, uh, a lot of times now I'll get people want to have they want to have a longer conversation with me. They have more things to say to me, longer sentences, more eye contact. Definitely more eye contact from people. But I will say, from my perspective of working in corporate America, so I was heavy in a role, and then I had lost weight still in that role, in a role similar. And I will tell you that I struggled after I lost weight with jealousy and with just like it's not with the men, it was with the women.
Oh, that's
These these
sad.
heifers, these heifers were something else out there, y'all. In these streets, these heifers. They gave me a hard time. Do you hear me? They gave me a hard time. They did not like me. I've always been confident. I've always been
Yeah.
funny, confident, happy person, but don't be funny, confident, and happy and be thinner, because then it's like, I don't
Right.
know. It caused problems for me, honestly. I had less problems when I was heavy in corporate America than I did when I had
Wow.
lost the weight,
Wow,
believe it
that's
or not.
interesting. Wow.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
Different
it was, yeah.
perspectives. Yeah, I didn't have that, I didn't work in corporate America. So so it's interesting to hear that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. How did you deal with it? Just tune them out and just carry on?
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm also Black in America. So having that experience, we know how to deal with a lot of crap and we know how to keep it moving. So guess
Right.
what? I have a tough skin. I have to deal with a lot of stuff, especially living here in Michigan. Race relations aren't the best, in my opinion. I'm a West Coast girl. So I just dealt with it like I deal with all the other stuff. I just let it roll off my shoulders and I just kept it moving and I tried not to retaliate. I tried to just keep it clean and
Yeah.
they'll reap what they sow if they have a problem with me. And I would check myself too. Don't get me wrong. I'm very self-aware. So I'd always step back and say, what are they saying? Why are they treating me like this? But I'll tell you 9 times out of 10, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything.
Right.
I was being the same person that I was before I lost the weight, doing the same things. But
Right.
when you make certain statements or do certain things and you're smaller, it just comes off different. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how like people would like with the door shut in your face and I am very nice to people. I will go out of my way to like do things for people. I don't care what you look like, what sex you are, but I would always hold the door open for someone. Not just that, but
And
just doing
I
nice
would too.
things. I'm just
Yeah,
very courteous
exactly.
like that. Yeah, like I just
It's
can't imagine being that kind of person who's not like that. It's just I can't relate to it. Can't relate to it, nor
yeah.
do I what I want to. But so how do you maintain everything? How do you maintain your physique?
Beg Jesus every day to help me. No, I'm semi joking, but no, I do. The Lord helps me. I ask him for help and guidance every day. The one thing that I think really helps me is my accountability on that wonderful thing that we all love dearly, the scale. I
Yeah,
actually, since 2009, I get on that stupid scale once a
I
week. So
know.
every Monday morning, don't call me on Monday mornings. I might be grumpy, depending on what the scale says. I get on that scale and it's my accountability thing. Like, oh, if I say, oh gosh, I went up 2 pounds, then that reminds me to make better choices that day and going forward so that when I get on again next Monday, I hopefully will see a loss or at least not gain any more.
Right.
So that definitely has helped me a lot.
That's great. That's great. So, what advice do you give to someone who is unhappy with their weight? Not just the number on the scale, but how they're feeling when it comes to their body, like if they're having health problems, or even if it's mental, like they're getting depressed. What's your advice to help them, like possibly finally get motivated to do something? What's your advice on that?
Stop. You have to stop making excuses and stop saying, "Oh, I deserve this," or "I'm going to start on Monday." No, you need to start now. You just got to
Start on
stop making
Monday.
excuses. Stop being so easy on yourself because I was a little bit I think I was easier on myself back then. Um and I think you got to be hard on yourself and you got to say, "Hey, I really want this." So, I got to do what it's going to take to get it. And
Right.
don't expect there to be anybody out there running with you, walking
Right.
with
Holding
you,
your hand,
doing
eating the same
holding your
things you
hand
are.
or no, oh yeah, and definitely not probably not eating the same things you are because yeah, don't expect that. You have to have
Mhm.
the willpower and you have to have the self-discipline to do it on your own. You can't really depend on anybody. But as far as being depressed, um it's like it's a vicious cycle when you're heavy because I know you remember Carol. You're depressed,
Mhm.
right? And you're overweight.
Mhm.
So then what do? You go eat. And then what happens? You gain weight. And then what happens?
Right.
You're more depressed. It's like a
Right.
vicious cycle, you know?
Right.
So it's like I think for me when I when I started to lose weight, and that first week at Weight Watchers, I remember I lost like 7 pounds because you lose a lot your first
Like,
week.
yeah.
And yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And so I remember like getting losing 7 pounds. I'm like, oh, this actually worked. Like what they told me to do worked. And that just encouraged me and drove me to do it again
yeah.
and
You
then do
keep
it
going
again
every week.
and then do it
Yep.
again. And then you keep having all these milestones that you make and get little pins or whatever else and keep people clapping for you at the meetings or whatever you get from losing weight at Weight Watchers. But yeah, and then those little milestones help you to keep going and they
Right.
encourage you. So
I
you got to
still
get
have
you got
all
to
my
get a
Weight Watchers
win.
cards. I still have all of them, of all my milestones. Still
You
have them
do?
all. Yeah. I need to
Wow.
dig them out.
Wow.
Yeah. I try to keep like records of my progress. So,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
wow. But I know like the last 2 episodes have been kind of more on the, real life. But I think it's kind of what people want to hear too. It's not all just fun and games. But there's a lot
Right.
of people, men and women, that can relate to the struggle of um, being overweight and the things that come with it, depression and everything. And nobody should ever feel like they're
Yeah.
alone or that no one can understand. And because even though we have the weight off, we still understand and we still struggle in other ways.
Absolutely. Like I still struggled to this day. I struggled with I had postpartum depression when I had my son, and I've struggled off and on with depression ever since then. But losing the weight, don't think losing weight is going to make you happy because it's not.
Right.
It's not.
Exactly.
It's
And
not
what
going to
if,
make you happy. It'll make you healthy, healthier,
right.
but not happier. Because
And
honestly, I
also,
was happy. I was my happiest when I was 353 pounds. That's when I was the most joyful that I
oh,
remember in my life.
wow.
But it was also when I had, when Cameron was little and I was a mom of a
Yeah.
young child. That factored
Yes.
into it
Yes.
too. But yeah, losing weight doesn't make you happy. You got to
Right.
find other things that will make you happy. It'll help make you healthy, but not happy
Well, I also want to add too,
necessarily.
like, I do not hate or judge on anyone who chooses how to get the weight off. I know I mentioned a couple of things earlier, like Ozempic. I think it's something like that. If that's what you need to do, the tool to start getting it off, that's great. No judgment here. No judge, because if that was an option back in the day, I probably would have done it for sure. For sure. I got
Yeah,
some friends who's on it and they've seen amazing results and they're maintaining the weight off, but they eat healthy and they exercise. They do yoga or whatever, and it's just been amazing to see. So yeah, I absolutely don't hate on that. I think what I was wanting to say was, like we said earlier, it's the lifestyle you got to take with it. Whatever way you choose their initial, first step to get it
right.
on to that journey, take it. But yeah,
Right. And those are, like you said, like we said earlier, those are all just tools. Like no
right.
one thing alone is going to be the magic pill to help you sustain all of this.
Yeah.
You've got to
And
do all the work behind it. So,
there's other things that, and we'll go into another different podcast about this, but there's other things that you have to face after the weight's off. What if you're not totally happy with your body? Are you going to go to plastic surgery?
oh yeah,
So
that's a
that's a
whole nother talk show.
That's a whole
Yes.
no yeah, and I think that would be a really good one. That'd be a really good one, and, yeah, I can't wait to talk about that one. That would be a good one.
Yeah. I'll have a lot to say on that one too,
Me
for sure. Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Me
because it's
too.
it's one thing to lose weight and then still seeing things that are just like really unpleasant. You're like, what? I did
You'll
all
be
that
like,
hard work
"What?"
for this?
Be like, "I
Uh-uh.
don't remember it looking
No,
like
thank
that
you.
when I was skinny last time."
Yeah, exactly.
I love
Exactly.
it.
But my last piece of advice to everyone is just hashtag never give up.
Right,
And if you fall, get back up and just take baby steps. Baby
right.
steps. And it's hard for all of us. We all struggle with it. So,
And if anybody has like a success story to share, oh God, please like DM us or leave a comment and tell us how you did it. Or if you just, or any kind of comment, if you need advice or a little bit more in depth of how we went about losing weight. So,
for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
And how we should also tell them now where they can find us
yes.
online. Where are we available now for our podcast?
Right
I
now
think you
we
just signed
are
us up for it.
on YouTube. So search for the Laugh Lounge with Jennifer and Karyl. Make sure you put Jennifer and Karyl. And the same with Spotify. And we should be on Apple Podcasts before long. And I know we're on Instagram, so you can find us Laugh Lounge _podcast. And then you did the Facebook account. So what's
Oh,
that? Is it
Lord.
Laugh Lounge with Jennifer and Karyl?
I
You know what? I'm going to end
don't
up adding
know.
everything at the end of our podcast. I'll have a page
Edit.
made up where it's like do 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 do.
I think it's the Laugh Lounge. I don't know. The Laugh Lounge 2024. I don't know I don't know how I think I did the Laugh Lounge with Jennifer and Karyl. Like I think I mirrored it to the other ones, so they
Okay,
should be able to
okay.
find
See,
us.
we're still
Yeah.
figuring this crap out, guys. So
Yeah.
we're
If we
having
waited till
fun
everything was
figuring it out,
perfect,
though.
we'd never
Right.
start. So we had to start somewhere. So here we are.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. We're figuring
yeah,
out. And if
it's not
anybody has
perfect.
any
All right.
suggestions on like, oh, I know how to do all this. You guys just need to do this. Hey, send us some advice. I'm up for it.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, I got to,
Exactly. We all need help.
also got to mention Riverside, though. That's who we go through for our editing and everything, our podcasting. They have been amazing, amazing. They have helped me so much. They were like right there because our last podcast, I lost like 20 minutes. So just me visually and vocally, like what happened to me. And they were able to recover the tracks. And they just been like the
Sweet.
biggest help. So if anybody who's just starting out in podcasting, or honestly, if you're just, already used to podcasting, they're just a great company to go through.
And I'd like to thank you, Karyl, because you're our producer and editor and all of that good stuff. And you've been the force that's been getting all this stuff out there to the world.
Well, I
So
just
thank
keep
you
like
so much
running
for all
into
the time that
problems.
you've
I'm
been
like,
putting in.
I'll be like, oh, we're ready to go, But, and I'm like, what the crap? How'd that happen? Now, what am I supposed to do? And then I'm just like, and then it'll pop in my mind, okay, maybe I could do this. And then it's just like a puzzle I'm figuring out, So
Yeah.
it's interesting, though.
Yeah. But I just love that we're just like, we're okay with the imperfections, and
Yes.
we're okay with just keeping it real with our audience. And you guys are just going to grow with us and get better with us. As we get better, you'll get better. It'll be fine. And we're learning lots, and we're comfortable being uncomfortable right now. And that's what you have to do in
Exactly.
order to grow in life. So,
Exactly.
hey.
Exactly. And I love our kind of conversations like this. And I know we're going to have spicier ones too, is coming, So we're going to have a little bit of everything. And I'd like for you guys to like throw out what kind of content you'd like for us to cover. So
Yeah, put that in the comments or DM
yes.
us.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds
fantastic.
Good. Well, I got to go do my other live, so we got to wrap up. So it's really great talking to you guys about my weight loss journey. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Karyl, for the great questions. You did an amazing job. And we will see you, I guess, next time.
Peace out.
Bye.
Oh, that was really good, Jen.